Alright, hello everyone. Uh, let's have another example on the application of method of joints in analyzing trusses. Okay, so perhaps this would be the last example for the method of joints. So we have a truss, and we have a truss here, and we are required to solve for the force in each member and state whether the member is in tension or compression. Okay, so gagawin natin. So we go from one joint to another hanggang masolve natin lahat ng bar forces. Okay, so we can start at which joint. So normally we solve for the reactions muna, but in this case we may not solve for the reactions, although later on masosolve natin eventually yung reactions. But we may not start with it. We may go all the way choosing yung joint na may dalawang bar force na unknown lang. And that is joint G. So we can proceed right away sa may joint G. So basta may joint na may dalawang unknown bar force lang, we can start at the joint kasi we have two equations of equilibrium. Therefore, we can solve for the bar force at that connected to that joint. Okay, so let's start at joint G. Yep. So let's draw the free body diagram at joint G. Okay, so at joint G. Okay, so at joint G, so yung mga forces at joint G. So identify natin, meron tayong external force na 12.5 kilonewtons. And we also have yung dalawang bar force. Again, I'm going to assume that the bar forces are in tension. Hindi siya visible dun sa video. Ayan, that's our free body diagram. Okay, so assume natin na the bar forces are in tension. And this is FGE. And this is FGF. Okay, this is 12.5 kilonewtons, and we also need the slope of this inclined member of the truss. So ano yung slope natin? Let's just follow yung meron naman yung dimensions ng truss. So this is 6 meters, yung horizontal is 6, vertical is 2.5. So this is 2.5, 6, and by Pythagorean theorem we can solve for the hypotenuse, which is 6.5. So, okay, so we are now ready to solve for the unknown bar forces. Okay, we can solve for GF by summating forces along the y-axis. Okay, so summation forces along y is equal to 0, upward forces positive. So ano yung mga vertical forces? We have the vertical component of FGF, so that is 2.5, directed downwards, so negative siya. So 2.5 over 6.5, negative siya downwards, times FGF. Okay? Then, minus yung 12.5. Okay, meron pa ba? Wala na. So, equate this one to 0. And we can solve for FGF, which is equal to negative 32.5. FGF is negative 32.5 kilonewtons, which means that FGF is a compression siya. So 32.5 kilonewtons na compression. Okay? Alright, next we summate forces Oops. Hangin. We submit forces along the horizontal direction. So all forces along x-axis is equal to 0. Forces to the right, positive. Okay. And yung mga horizontal forces, we have FGE, which is directed to the left. So FGE minus FGF, directed to the left. Horizontal components, that is 6 over 6.5 times FGF na nasolvehin kanina. Don't forget the sign since we did not change the direction dun sa dito. If you have changed the direction, then making positive, positive na siya. And additive na rin yung ito. Okay. But para hindi kayo malito, I think it would be better kapag we don't change na rin yung direction na in-assume natin as long as you follow yung sign natin na negative siya. So, yan. So, negative 32.5 kilonewtons, wala ng horizontal forces. So, equate natin to 0. So, FGE is equal to positive 30 kilonewtons. So, positive siya, which means FGE is tension. Okay? So, this is FGE. This is FGF. Okay? Ayan. Okay, next, let's proceed to saan tayo sunod? So, let's look at the figure kung saan tayo pwedeng sunod na na joint. So, pwedeng F sa E, pwede ba sa E? Hindi pwede kasi although we have solved for FGE, alam na natin tong bar force na dito. We still have 3 unknowns dito sa may E, no? So, sa F, alam na natin yung FGF, dalawa yung unknown. So, we can proceed to joint F. So, at joint F, i-drawing na lang natin yung free body diagram at joint F. Okay. This is 6, 2.5, 6.5. This is FEF. This is FGF, which is equal to negative 32.5 kilonewtons. 32.5, but 3 yung sinulat ko. Kilonewtons. Okay. So, tension nito ang na-assume ko, although in reality, compression yan pag ganun sana towards the junction or towards the joint. Para mas madaling yung analysis. Hindi tayo magkakalituhan, sabi ko kanina. Tension na lang, but you should follow the sign. Alright? So, this is FDF. Okay? Then apply the conditions of equilibrium to solve for the unknown forces. Okay. Let's summate forces along x-axis. Equals 0. Forces to the right, positive. So, ano yung mga forces along x-axis? We have the horizontal component of FGF. So, we have directed to the right siya, so positive 6 over 6.5 of FGF is negative 32.5 kilonewtons. Directed to the left, so minus the horizontal component of FDF, that is 6 over 6.5 of FDF. And no, wala nang ibang horizontal forces. So equate this one to 0. We can solve for f df, which is equal to negative 32.5 kilonewtons, or that is 32.5 kilonewtons na compression. So that is FDF. Okay, and then we can now solve for FEF by summating forces along the vertical direction, upward forces positive. We have assumed FEF to be upward, so positive siya. So FEF, ito naman downwards yung vertical component. So minus FDF is that's 2.5 over 6.5 of FDF, that is negative 32.5. Okay. And then yung vertical component of FGF, so upwards yung vertical component ng FGF, so plus that's 2.5 over 6.5 of FGF, that is negative 32.5 kilonewtons. Equate this one to 0, and then we can now solve for FEF, which is equal to, obviously, so kakancel itong dalawa, so 0 ang FEF natin. Okay, so FEF is equal to 0. Alright, next joint. So ang joint ang susunod natin na joint ay saan kaya? So can we now proceed to joint E? So sa joint E, we already know FEF and FEGE here. So two unknowns at joint E, so we can now proceed to joint E, no? So at joint E, let's draw the free body diagram at joint E. Meron tayong external force there. Meron din ito. Hangin. Yung inclined member. Daming forces na involved. So this is this is 12 point, this is 12. Okay. This is 12.5 kilonewtons. And this is, we have solved for FGE kanina. FGE is 30 kilonewtons. And EF ito is, this is 0. 0 yan. And this is FDE. Unknown din. And this is FCE. Ayan. So we need to solve muna yung slope ng ating ito. So let's just follow yung nandun sa ating figure. This is 2 meters, no? Okay. So is 2 meters. Kailangan natin itong slope nito. So is 2. Ano tong distance na to? Okay. We need this distance. So we know that this is 2 horizontal. The vertical distance, paano yan? Okay. We need to solve this one by ratio and proportion. So yung malaking triangle, ayan. Tapos ito, triangle na to. By ratio and proportion, we can solve for this vertical distance. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so by ratio and proportion, we have solved for this distance. Okay. So kinompare lang natin itong malaking triangle, yung buo, tapos ito lang, ratio and proportion. So this distance is 1.667, and we can solve for also for the hypotenuse na 2.603. Okay? Ayan. Okay. So, 2, 1.667, and 2.603. Ayan. Okay. Okay. Now, we solve for we summate forces. Humili lang kayo eh. Summation of forces along x or y or whichever. Anong gusto nyo unahin, okay lang naman. Okay? So, we summate forces along y-axis equals 0. Okay. Upward forces positive. So, ano yung mga vertical forces? FDE, horizontal component, vertical component of FDE, so that is downward. So, minus 1.667 over 2.603 times FDE. Okay. Minus ito. 12.5. Of course, yung 0. Minus 0. You may not include it in the equation. Okay. Ano ba? Wala na. So, equate this one to 0. So, FDE is equal to, that is negative 19.519 kilonewtons. For FDE is equal to 19.519 kilonewtons na compression. Okay? Alright. So, yan. Yung palang sagot dito sa may module, that's 19.526 na. Nagkakaroon lang tayo ng discrepancy because of our rounding off sa slope natin. But, it's acceptable. If you want it to be exact, you may use yung fraction na equivalent nito. Okay? Kasi na itong yung slope niya. Okay? So, that's FDE. And then FCE, we summate forces along the horizontal axis. Summation of forces along x. So, summation of forces along x is equal to 0. So, lahat ng horizontal forces. FCE, so minus FCE. Okay, to the left siya. Plus 30 kilonewtons. Minus FDE, horizontal component, that is 2 over 2.603. Okay. Times FDE na negative 19.519 equals 0. So, FCE is equal to, that is 44.997 kilonewtons, or that is actually 45. Rounding off again of values. So 44.997. Positive siya, so this means tension yung FCE. So tension siya. Okay? Alright, so next, saang joint na ang susunod? Where do we proceed now? So saang joint tayo? So, punta ulit tayo sa joint na may dalawang unknown bar force. So, where is that joint? Where would it be? It's joint D, ano? Kasi we have solved FDE kanina. Tama ba? We done with FDE. Yup. I'm also done with FDF. So, ang ano lang dyan is ito. So, my joint D. Okay? So, let's proceed to joint D. So, at joint D, ano yung free body diagram natin at joint D? Okay. Medyo komplikado. Ayan. So, this is F CD. This is FD. This is FDF. And this is FBD. Okay? And don't forget yung slope natin. Slope. So, FDF 6, 2.5, 6.5. Ito naman sa DE natin, slope niya ay, we have 2, 1.667. And ito ay 2.603. Hindi yun lang, medyo maliit yung ginawa kong drawing, but I hope malinaw. Ayan. So FDF kanina ay negative 32.5 kilonewtons. And FDE, yung FDE natin, negative 19.519. Ayan. Okay. Very good. So we can now summate forces along x or y axis. Summation of forces along y axis, x axis na lang is equal to 0 para ma-solve natin agad yung FBD. So FBD, parehas lang yung slope dito, magka-linya lang naman yan. So 6, 2.5, and we have 6.5 here. So lahat ng horizontal forces, so component ng FBD. So to the left yung direction ng force. So that should be, ganyan ko na lang para makita natin lahat. Okay. We have 6 over 6.5 times FBD. Horizontal component ng FDF. To the right siya. So, plus 6 over 6.5 times negative 32.5 kilonewtons. And then component of FDE. To the right then. So, plus 2 over 2.603 times negative 19.519 equals 0. So we can solve now for FBD. So what is FBD? FBD is equal to negative 48.747 kilonewtons, or that is equivalent to 48.747 kilonewtons na compression. So that is FBD. Okay. Alright. Next. Tama ba yung tama naman? Next, we summate forces along the vertical direction. So summation of forces along y is equal to 0. So we have FCD. Yung lahat ng vertical components ng mga forces na ito. Medyo marami. Okay, so let's start with FBD. Vertical component downwards. So minus 2.5 over 6.5 times negative 48.747. Vertical component is upwards of plus yung FDF. That's 2.5 over 6.5 times FDF na 32.5. Okay. Then plus vertical component of FDE, so that is 1.667 over 2.603 times negative 19.519. Equate natin yan sa 0, medyo mahabang equation. So we can now solve for FCD. Okay, that is FCD is equal to 6.251 kilonewtons. Positive siya, which means FCD is tension. Okay. Okay na? Ox na ba? Okay, next, joint. So, saan joint tayo? So, tapos na tayo dito sa joint D. Alam na natin ang FCD. FBD, tapos na rin. Punta naman tayo sa, I think we can proceed na dito sa may joint C. So, sa joint C tayo. Flip this one. Medyo haba-haba yung solution natin. At joint C, so let's draw the free body diagram at joint C. Joint C. Oh no. Ba't naman? Okay. So I have an external force here that's 12.5 kilonewtons. This is FCE. Tama. Which we have solved a while ago. And this is FCD. Nasolve na din natin to. Ang ano lang dito is FAC and FBC. Again, we need to solve for the slope of this member. Let's just follow na lang itong triangle dimensions. We have, this is 2 meters and this is 2.5. Okay, and the what's the hypotenuse? That's 3.202. Yung hypotenuse niya. So 2.5, 3.202. Ayan. Okay. FCE. So yung FCE, that is 44.997. 44.997. O, positive siya. So, tension yun. FCD naman. Saan yung FCD kanina? FCD is also in tension. So, it's 6.251. Yung FCD. 6.251. Okay, we're good. So, okay na yung free body diagram natin sa joint C. So, importante yung free body diagram, ha? Okay. Ayan. So, we summate forces along, unahin natin, vertical, horizontal. Vertical na lang so that we can now directly solve for FBC. So, summation of forces along the vertical axis Y, upward forces positive. So, all vertical forces. So, we have FBC, which is downward, so minus 2.5 over 3.202 of FBC. Minus 6.251. Minus 12.5 equals 0. So FBC is equal to, what is FBC? That is negative 24.016 kilonewtons. or FBC is equal to 24.016 kilonewtons na compression. So that is FBC. And then we summate forces along the horizontal axis equals 0. Okay, ano yung mga horizontal forces? We have FAC na directed to the left, so minus. So again, forces to the right, positive. Okay, so FAC, negative FAC, plus FCE na 44.997, minus yung FBC natin, horizontal component, that is 2 over 3.202 times FBC, which is negative 24.016 kilonewtons equals 0. So FAC is equal to FAC is 59.998 kilonewtons. So positive siya, which means tension yan. Okay? This should be 60 ano, pag ni-round natin. Yung nandun sa mode. So sa answer key natin, that's 60. Pero, ganyan na. Okay, so this is FAC. Okay. Tapos na ba tayo? Meron mo bang mga hindi na-solve na bar forces? So tapos na yung FAC. FBC, tapos na rin. Isa pa, itong FAB. Yun na lang yung hindi natin na-solve. So sa ang joint natin, ang consider natin to solve for FAB. Sa joint A, meron tayong tatlong unknown forces dyan. Hindi, kasi meron tayong, sa A kasi merong hinge dyan. So this is RAX, RAY. Okay. Dito sa may A, joint A. So, unknown dyan is RAX, RAY, and FAB. So, may tatlo tayong unknowns dyan. Sa B naman, sa joint B, meron tayong support reaction dito na roller yan. So, perpendicular dito sa may surface. So, this is RB. Okay. We know BC, I think. Yeah, I think we have solved for FBC kanina. We also know FBD. Ang unknown lang natin is RB and FAB. So it would be better if we go now to joint B. So joint B tayo. At joint B, let's draw the free body diagram at joint B. Ito yung reaction dito, RB. Okay, so this is FAB. Sorry. May position yan. Ganyan na lang. So this is FAB. And this is FBC. Alam na natin yan. This is FBD. Alam na din natin. This is RA. RB, should say. Ayan. Ayan. So, don't forget yung slope ng yan. Yung FBD natin, ang slope nun. Saan ba yung napadpad yung FBD? 6 6, 2.5, 6.5. So this is 6, 2.5, 6.5. Ito naman, nandiyan pala sa figure. FBC 2, 2.5. And this is yung hypotenuse niya is 3.202. Okay? And then FBC is negative 24.016. And then FBD is negative 48.747. Negative 48.747. Ayan. Okay na tayo. So, let's solve for, ang concern lang naman natin ay yung FAB. Kasi we are not asked or tasked to solve for the reactions naman. So, FAB here is vertical. So, maybe we can summate forces along the vertical axis. Summation of forces along the y-axis is equal to 0. Forces upwards are positive. So, you have FAB. Vertical component of FBC. Upwards, so plus, that's 2.5 over 3.202 of FBC, which is negative 24.016. Then another plus 2.5 over 6.5 times negative 48.747. Okay. Meron pa bang ibang vertical forces? Wala na. So, equate that to 0. We can now solve for FAB. That is 37.499 or 37.5 kilonewtons positive siya. So, tension yung FAB. Okay? So, that's it. You may make a summary of all the bar forces. Okay. Summary. And those would be if you are designing, of course, yung truss, that would be the basis of the design. Yung mga bar, the forces in each bar, no? And it is also important to note whether it is compression or tension, no? Okay. Kasi sa design kasi, importante na malaman natin na tension or compression yung member ng trusses natin because the design would be different if it is compression or tension. So kapag ang member natin ay steel, yung material niya ay steel, yung gagamitin natin, kapag compression medyo nagkakaroon kasi ng buckling kapag the member is subjected to compression. Okay. And iwasan natin yung buckling ng members which are in compression. Okay? So, yun. Basta sa subject naman natin, alam natin kung paano mag-analyze ng truss. That's it. The design aspect would be a different subject, okay, or course. Ayan. So, ina-assume na kapag pumunta na kayo sa design subjects ninyo, alam niyo na mag-analyze ng trusses, ng mga structures. Okay, kasi ang prerequisite sa design is analysis muna. So, we need to identify muna yung mga forces acting on the structures, and then we design it to resist those forces later on. Okay? So, yun.